this is our new Helm dashboard. And, as you can see, I have a couple of demo companies here. And so Kelvin, a lot of people ask about the company health score. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. So part of what we've heard from people, and as we've been kind of progressing as a product, not kind of, as we've been progressing as a product, we've gotten a lot of feedback from people around, you tell me what to do. You tell me what I should be focused on, help me guide, and help me give advice, whether you're a business or an advisor to a business. And so we built the health score and the dashboard specifically for that. So it's centered around cash metrics. So it's got things like cash available, net receivables, AR to AP. So these are all cash centric measures. And the reason that we did that is because we're a cash flow management tool. So we want to make sure people have a very healthy cash position and cash flow. And so we want to help people progress towards that. So each one of these indicators, as you highlighted there, Laura, it's got a description around what it is and what can kind of be done to either improve it, or just improve it. You never want to go the other way. Each of these indicators has a green check mark for good or a red X for bad. And so it's a very quick, high level way to see if you're doing well in a specific area or not. And then the hover pop-up box there will help tell you how to improve it. So essentially the dashboard and the 6 metrics there are just a really good way for people to focus in on how to improve the cash of this business, and we give the details for that. And then we turn that into a score. So at the very top of the screen, you'll see the green bar underneath the 0 demo and the red one under the Sage. And so that is essentially us accumulating or totaling up all of the scores below. So the 6 scores. So if you're doing well in all of them, you'll have a green bar and a really good score. It means you're doing really well. And if you've got a bunch of red check marks and things are not going well, the company's in distress, you'll have a very low health score and like 20 and a very low bar. So again, the dashboard is intended to just give people a very quick visual high level guidance in terms of where they're at. And then when they start hovering and surfacing some of the data, it'll help tell people how to then improve from where they're at.
Mm-hmm. Right. And we've also let people toggle back and forth between the scores and also just the cash balance for the next 12 weeks. And so typically, like when people are planning payables or receivables, they really need to have a line of sight for what the cash balance is going to be in the future. So Kelvin, this I want to piece. What we've built is 4 key things. Do you want to just sort of quickly surface what we're working on here?
Yeah, I think what you just touched on was really good, because again, we're talking about cash management. We're not just about forecasting or doing a single lane. We're automating and helping simplify the entire process. So in terms of managing cash flow, that usually has a few core concepts. So receivables, payables, debt, as well as the actual planning. Because if you don't have line of sight, again, you're going to get hit by a bus that you don't know about. So each one of these items is what we have now. We'll be working on other ones in the future, depending on user feedback. But at a quick high level, as an example, the manage payables, that's for AP planning. So what we wanted to do here is, this exists right now for bookkeepers and people that handle AP in their company or for their clients. Usually exists in a spreadsheet. So they'll pull out the AP listing from their accounting system. They'll manipulate it. They'll make decisions based off timing of incoming inflows and this, that, the other, but they're pulling it out of the system and then they need to report and communicate. And there's a bunch of things that have to happen. So what we've built is a workflow that will actually kind of unify and streamline that whole process. So you've got your forecast in one spot. You can surface all your payables there. You can make quick iterations and decisions right in the system, which then interact automatically with your forecast. And once you have that quick decision, once you have your AP plan, you can produce a report for yourself or your client. So it's taking that whole process and unifying it into a single place and making it more simple, which I think is really exciting. And that's what, Laura, you'll be talking about today.
Right.
But we also do that on the receivable side. So again, people have the receivables process. They need to follow up with clients. They need to talk to them. That usually exists in, call notes on a notepad somewhere or on another spreadsheet or another doc. And how does that relate to the forecast? Does it actually come back? So again, what we've worked on and built is a whole receivables process similar to the AP one that we just talked about, where you can quickly go in, log your call notes, make decisions, update your forecast in one spot, and again, produce a final deliverable report for either yourself or your client. So really excited about that. We've got another webinar, I think, in 2 weeks' time on that one. And then debt, debt is a core piece of your cash management. So we haven't fully built that one out yet. We're still in process, but we're working on it. And then obviously the forecast, the forecast is the key pillar out of all of this. If you don't have the plan, you can't execute off anything. So it's a core piece of cash management. So again, all of these options are here to make cash management holistic, unified, and simplified. So that's why we put that here. I want to manage my payables. You click on that and you roll right into it. So
and here we
I'll
go.
flip it back to you at this point.
Thank you. Yeah, and so I just clicked on I want to manage payables. And here we are in the new workflow. And so basically, like Kelvin said, what we're trying to do is we're replicating the typical payables process and making it really fast and easy. And some of the issues that were identified with respect to payables are, missing bills, waiting for approvals, and basically timing. So there's a lot of off-cycle bill payments. And so what the idea behind what we're doing here is making it really simple and easy. So let's say I do a pay run every 2 weeks, and my next pay run is going to be on the 19th. And since I do a pay run every 2 weeks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get every bill that is due up to and including the day before the subsequent pay run, the one that's going to be June the 2nd. And so immediately I get a list of every bill that's due by June the 1st, because I'm not going to make a payment until June the 2nd. The next payment will be June the 2nd. And I'm going to be able to quickly review all of the invoices that are being paid. And there's an opportunity to hide some of the bills. And there's a reason for that. A lot of times there may be a dispute. There may be an agreement in place. The bills that the date may be incorrect. So there's an opportunity to hide it, and it takes it right out of the cash balance. So you have it's hidden and removed from the cash balance, and it's also not going to be included in the payables plan that I'm building here. So the next thing I do is I set my payment date, and I said I'm going to have my next pay run on Friday the 19th. So I'm going to click the 19th, and the payment is successfully updated. The cash balance, because I'm going to have a big pay run, is showing. So there we go. The outflow's happening. I still can see at a glance that there's enough money in the bank that I'm not going below $20,000, and I'm happy with that. And so I can go ahead and generate a report. The next step, remember we were saying that a lot of people have to wait for approval processes. So what you can do is you can actually email based on recipients who are already part of your contact list in Helm. You can email the report to recipients. And if you email the report to recipients, it's actually an approval process. You can add some information with the report. You can basically you could highlight that you have excluded certain bills because there's an agreement in place, whatever information you feel is valuable information to the person who's approving. But if you're doing the pay yourself and all you want to do is have a record of the pay run that's in place, and especially, to make sure that the bills are a comprehensive list and you want to double check, you can then download the report as a PDF, and I went ahead and downloaded the report already. And the report basically talks about the payables plan for the period. It tells who created the report. So whoever is working in Helm's name and created the report would show up. It gives the list of the vendor name, the invoice number, the date, and then also the scheduled payment date, the total that is payable, and the current cash position. And then also, just because we always want to keep cash flow top of mind, the cash flow forecast is shown here as well, so that there's a lot of confidence that when these bills are paid, there's still sufficient funds in the bank. So that's basically the AP process. So pretty fast compared to historically pulling out like an age payables report or a payables report, maybe going into a spreadsheet to try to make sure that there's enough cash on hand, creating a report to send to the client for approval, waiting for the client to give approval, and then making the payments. So yeah, the other thing I didn't touch on is, if you do have Veeam integration, you can actually go ahead and with this list, select the bills that you are going to pay, and then let the payment happen as well once it's approved. So that's the new accounts payable process.